Hi loves! Happy Wednesday to you. I am so excited to be here with you in this virtual space. I'm sending you so much love and abundance and happiness wherever you are and support that these energies find you. And I am stoked today because the dandelions are going to be harvestable this weekend. So for market, that means we'll have fresh dandelion greens and the most favorite and beloved green goddess juice. Yes, green goddess juice will be at market this weekend on Saturday in Cody, Wyoming. If you are far away, we have other solutions. I cannot figure out how to ship this juice like quickly because it does start to ferment after about a week. And having it fresh is key, but we'll figure that out at some point in time, I hope. But I wanted to talk to you about dandelions. So all the dandelions that I grow are, of course, volunteers. I have planted some. That's not correct. I have planted some, but most of these I just let all the dandelions that come out of the ground stay where they are, and I manage them by harvesting them, by eating them, by making medicine out of them. All of the things. That is how they're managed. They don't really take over. I only dig them in the fall when they stop producing leaves. Other than that, it's all leaf material, and then the plant is just going to keep producing leaves all season instead of like spreading it by digging it out of the ground, because when we spread the dandelion most efficiently when we dig it up, because those little rootlets that get left in the ground, those little tinies, turn into tiny dandelions that turn into huge dandelions, and the more we dig it, the more it spreads. So that's my way of managing it, and I'm going to just get on my soapbox a little bit because I have to, because I'm talking about dandelions that people love to spray. Please stop spraying your dandelions. If you're local, I will come and harvest them from your yard. If you're not local, all you got to do is clip the flowers off before they go to seed. That's the best way to manage them. As we continue to spray these plants, especially our most resilient plants like dandelions, they become resistant to the Roundup. They become resistant to all the chemicals that are sprayed upon them, and they just get stronger, and you just have to keep dumping more and more chemicals into the ground, into our atmosphere, into the soil, into the water, all the things. Like the soil, organic farms have a hard time becoming organic when they are shifting land, like what I'm trying to do here, because it takes 5 to 7 years for those chemicals to leave the soil. And if we just keep dumping and dumping and dumping all of this crap onto our ground, it's going in the water. It's a part of the problem with the bees. There's a lot of science behind this, and please just stop spraying the dandelions. It's our first food, our first nature-made food, and it's the bees' first food of the spring. It's the first thing we get. It's the first flower that we see decorating all the lawns everywhere. And it is not a plant that is going to give up easily. It's going to just keep on doing its thing, which is growing and thriving and being resilient. So that is my little soapbox stand. Please stop spraying your dandelions. You're just fighting an uphill battle that will never stop. I promise you that. So back to the medicine of the dandelions and how nourishing these little plants are for us and for the bees. So the dandelion is a survival type food. We could live off of this food, this plant, if we had to. Like, it would provide all the electrolytes, all of the vitamins that we need, and polysaccharides, inulin. Inulin is a digestible starch that is not only usable for energy, but it is also feeding our gut biome. So all of the little bacterium that we know exists in our gut, it is feeding them. It is acting in this way as a probiotic. Instead of feeding your gut a probiotic from a pill, is all you have to do is feed it digestible starch, specifically inulin, very supportive to the immune system as well, but for our microbiome specifically, you're actually giving it food. You're nourishing it. You're feeding it instead of saying, oh, pill, hello, please give me some gut flora. We all have gut flora. We don't need it unless, of course, we've been eradicated. There are certain situations, don't get me wrong, this is not an absolute, but we don't need it all the time. We don't need a pill to give us our microbiome. We have our microbiome. So all we need to do is nourish it in a mindful way. And dandelions in the root has a wonderful starch that is digestible called inulin, very available to our guts. It is a low glycemic index, of course, so we're not spiking blood sugar. And because dandelion is a bitter, since I get on the blood sugar topic, we are helping our blood sugar levels, our insulin levels be managed when we are nourishing our body's ability to digest food. I know that sounds very obvious, but it seems to not be to everybody. So dandelions, a little bit about that bitter constituent that they have. We have a collection of taste receptors or taste buds on our tongues, in our mouths, in our lungs, even in our gut, all of the places we have all of these receptors called T2R receptors, and this is just a certain class of receptors. And these receptors, the T2R receptors, are our bitter taste buds. They are the ones that say, yes, that is bitter, and I understand what to do with that. And when we activate those bitter taste receptors, we are talking directly to our vagus nerve. And our vagus nerve starts in the back of our head and wanders. It's called the wanderer. It wanders through our bodies and it attaches to our lungs. It attaches to all of our individual digestive system organs. So I'm talking about the liver, the gallbladder, the pancreas, the spleen, the stomach, the intestines, the duodenums, all of the bladder even, all of our digestive and assimilative organs have this nerve directly connected to it. And this nerve is mostly activated by these T2R receptors, these bitter taste buds that we have in not only our mouth, but our throat, our lungs, our gut. All of these places have this bitter response, bitter receptor that we can talk to with bitter foods. And dandelion is the first bitter food that comes out of the ground by nature. And I see burdock leaves, and as I'm saying this, because they are the next one that I will be talking about, we'll stick with dandelions today. So dandelions contain not only all of this magical phytonutrients like vitamins and minerals that we need on a daily basis, calcium, magnesium, all the electrolytes that keep our muscles functioning, and then this glorious digestible starch. So dandelions are freaking awesome. They have a lot of chlorophyll in them, so we're nourishing our ability to detox our system by feeding this to our liver so that our liver can fully function and say, yep, I'm gonna cleanse our blood from all of the heavy metals and metabolic wastes that are floating through our system to make us feel vital and amazing. So another really awesome thing about plant nutrients, plants are really good at taking up all of these nutrients from the soil, like calcium, magnesium, taking them into their bodies and creating a reaction that allows them, these nutrients, to become biologically available to our bodies. So plants, like we're feeding them, they're feeding us. They make nutrients biologically available to our bodies. These calciums and all sorts of minerals, supplements that are just like straight up from the earth, like pounded up minerals, pounded up rock, essentially, they're not doing anything in your body. You're either peeing them out or you're storing them in your system and they're not being used. This is why a lot of women who are getting diagnosed with osteoporosis later in life, they're like, but I've been taking calcium my entire life. Unfortunately, this is the problem with the dietary supplement industry, and they are not regulated. They are not told what they can and cannot put into a capsule. And capsulated, tablet-made minerals, especially calcium, especially magnesium, it's not biologically available to the body. That is what plants do for us. That is one thing they do for us. They are breaking these minerals apart from the ground, taking them into their bodies, using photosynthesis to manufacture a nutrient that we can ingest, and then we can use. It is assimilated into our gut. It is feeding our blood. It is feeding our bones. It's feeding all of the things that all of our cells in our body, and you don't need as much of it. When it is fully bially available, these like 1500 milligram pills or whatever that are enormous, that you need that big of a dose in those kinds of nutrients because most of it's not being assimilated and used in the body. It's being excreted through your urinary tract, it's being excreted through the bowels, and it's also being stored in the body. It's one of those three things, or all three of them, that is happening to these synthetic nutrient pills. And that is why it is incredibly important to get food-made multivitamins. Dandelion is there for us, so is nettles. So are spinach and lettuce and kale and all of these glorious plants that come out of the ground that we plant or in our gardens or are naturally occurring or both. So the dandelions are my favorite thing. It's a sign of spring, of course, but the best part is that there is so much bially available nutrition that comes from them, and we're doing so many things in just one plant. So following this video, there will be a post on my shop update with the bitters. My digestive bitters have a lot of these plants in them because I want to not only give us the bitter experience, give our vagus nerve that stimulation, but I also want us getting bially available nutrients from plants. So dandelions are in there, they're in all of my bitters, and you can follow the link in my bio to get to the herb shop and grab your bitters before they're gone. I'm mostly out of 8-ounce bottles. I still have 4s and 2s left from this batch this year, and that's a way for y'all from afar to get this glorious dandelion, because I cannot figure out, I mean, I can maybe, but I don't know. I might have to pasteurize it, and that makes me sad. Anyway, I'm digressing. Try not to digress because these videos cannot be that long. So head to the herb shop, grab your nettle dandelion vinegar bitters, or your fire cider, or your Mahonia Mountain bitters, or Rocky Mountain bitters. All of my bitters are so freaking awesome and potent, and they let us tell our bodies to do what they do naturally, which is heal us, which is give us nutrients, which is all of the things that our bodies do for us. These bitters are going to help in so many ways. So much capacity for nourishing health is found in a digestive bitter, and it's why I love them so much, and I talk about them a lot. I'm going to talk about them a lot more. And yes, so please head to the apothecary, grab your digestive bitters, come see me at market on Saturday morning. This coming Saturday in Cody, Wyoming, I'll be at the market with Green Goddess juice and fresh dandelion greens, and I'm so stoked. And they sell fast, so come early. And again, I still have my appointment book open. If you're wanting to tackle your health, your soul path, I'm here for you. I'm here for you in a very mindful way, although I am getting better at calling people on their shadow shit. So I think that's important. We have to look at our shadows all the time, and our shadows feed us shit all the time, and we have to figure out what is nourishing and what is not. So if you want to work with me, my appointment book is still open through May. I am coming out with a class. I'm working on it diligently. It's going to be the science and spirit of herbalism, blending both the science, which is incredibly important, and how we can work with the plant spirits alongside of science. So stay tuned for that. Get on my email list if you have not, and head over to the apothecary and grab your delicious bitters. Anyway, that's all for now. I know that was a lot, and I look forward to talking to you guys more and more all the time. Big love, big blessings, green blessings to you all. Thanks for being here with me in this virtual space. Talk to you soon.